Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be walking us through exploiting a misconfigured Kubernetes cluster. This is based on a room by TryAcme and it is called Frank and Herbert Try Again. It's a follow-up to the previous room that we did together. Frank and Herbert still don't know how to use Kubernetes correctly. So I already started the machine and gave it enough time to boot. I'm going to copy my IP address and ping just to be sure that I'm fine. Control Shift V. Let's see. Okay, good. Control C. We have response. The next thing I'm going to do is to use route scan to quickly see the ports I have open. So route scan. Yep. And this should just take a few minutes maximum. Yeah, we are getting our results already. 0250259. Okay. Now that we have our results, we can see that we have 8 ports in total and port 22. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is to run a detailed scan using Nmap. So I do Nmap. Then I tell it I want an aggressive scan for this specific ports -P 22 10250 10255 10257 10259 16443 25,000 and 3030679. Am I correct? 2468. And for the IP of this, then this is going to take a while. So you just have to be patient or just take a quick break or read up on what you need to do. Yeah. So while we wait for that to run. Great. Our scan is done and we can see our detailed results. We can see what we have on each of the ports. The one of interest. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Nice. There is HTTP service running on 30679 and we can see that it is using PHP 8.1.0 there. So when you hear PHP, you think of vulnerabilities, yes. So before that, I'm going to try to do the usual web enumeration just to be sure that we are not skipping anything. It's 30679 going to come. Yeah, okay. HTTP. It should be 30679. Let's check out the web page and see what we have. There is no way they'll break in this time. This site is built with state-of-the-art PHP, the greatest programming language ever created. Okay. Because I control the cube, I don't. Okay. So we right click, do the manual enumeration. Let's do the page source. I've used the page source. I use GoBuster. I used their directory buster, and there wasn't really anything useful. So in order not to waste our time here, I'm going to come back to the terminal. And what I'm going to do next is to focus on PHP. I already know that it's PHP and it's most likely vulnerable. So I'm going to use search exploits to look for a known exploit if there is any. So I do search exploits, Then I search for the PHP 8.10 def and I wait for my results to pop. It's not supposed to take this long. My results are out and I'm going to look for the exact one that matches what I'm interested in. As you can see here, we have this one 8.1.0 dev user agent remote code execution. That means we are trying to perform a remote code execution. I look for the ID number. I hope I'm correct. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4993. Yep, that's the ID number. I'm trying to download this to this current folder that I'm working from. So I do. It has been downloaded and here it is. So I'm going to look at the contents of the exploits. Consider it's a Python script. Okay, let me read the information. Okay. An enable is released on 21 and remote runs on a server. An attacker can execute arbitrary code by sending the user agent header. The following exploit uses the backdoor to provide a pseudo shell on the host. So this just it uses a backdoor to provide it. So it's self-explanatory and it can execute code by sending the user agent header. So basically what I'm going to try to do now is to run this script to have a backdoor so that we can have a pseudo shell on the host. Now I do Python 3 and I follow the prompt. I already did extra reading from the GitHub page and all that. So enter the full host URL. So HTTP, okay, Ctrl Shift V, and don't forget, I think the port number, what's the port number running the web page? 13, am I right? 30679. 30679. Let's see. Interactive shell is opened. Job control. Okay, so let's see ls. Let's see the way it responds to the command. So we can see that we have the index.php and the info.php. It gives us a response and it also prints out the content of the page that we saw using our browser the other time. So I'm going to try to enumerate and see if it is going to answer me. Let's see, who am I? Let's enumerate further. Who am I? I'm root. Great. Let me see if I can run kubectl commands. Kubectl dash h. Let's see if there's going to be a response, or is it just basically the normal Linux commands that we can run. As you can see, there is no response from that. So if I can't run that, what I'm going to try to do next is to see if I can enumerate for token. So I'm going to do, let's see, ls la var run kubernetes.io /ServiceAccount. Let me see if I have something. So LSLA run. Okay, there is no response. Interesting. Okay, let's see. CD CD. I was expecting a response for that. Kubernetes.io /service. Am I writing it the right way? I can move to a different folder. I can list the content of my current folder, which is the index.php and info. I can, who am I? Okay. It's interesting. Okay, let's see. I think I have a document here. Why is this thing not loading? Okay. CD ls cards Kubernetes .txt. Okay. Oh, supposed to type secret. I skipped secrets. Okay, great. Okay. Let's try again. ls la var run secrets Kubernetes. So that's why it's actually important to do your documentation. Okay, let me see if I have a rest. Oh, I didn't do LSLA. Okay, okay, I can't go back to my previous commands. Okay, secrets Kubernetes. That's IO slash service accounts. Yep, yep. Good. We can see the contents of my service account folder, right? And I'm very much interested in this token file. So I'm going to try to copy the content of that token file. Since I can't run Kubernetes command, I can't run kubectl command. So I do cats, and I know Linux commands run. So cats var run secrets kubernetes.io slash service accounts slash token. I want you to print out the content of the token file, and here we go. So you have to be very careful here in order to copy it correctly and not add or remove. So I'm going to copy here. Yes. I'm going to copy this, come to my local machine, and I'm going to create cd trying. Let me move back to my folder. Yes. I'm going to create a new text file, token nano token.txt. And I'm going to paste my selection here. That's the content of the token from the service account. So Control Shift V. Let's just see what we have. Okay, good. So Control O. Oh, did I? Control Z. Big. Okay. What did I do wrong? Control O. Let's just backspace. Control O. Enter. Control X. Yep. So let me just print out the content again. Yep. So we have our content, the content of our token right now on our local machine. So the next thing I'll try to do is to authenticate using this token. And I'm going to do that by here. I think I printed out my content. Authenticate into the API server as the service account of this pod. And we are going to check our permission using this command. Okay, so copy this. Then I'm going to paste my selection here. Paste selection. Good. Now, before I go further, if you are trying to authenticate, I need to pass it the right IP address and also the port number that is having the Kubernetes API. Usually the default port number is 6443, but for this particular machine, I think we have a different port number for which it was hosted on. I'm going to close my connection here, Control C. Yeah, and I'm going to go back to my Nmap scan results to see what I have, just to be sure that, yep, 10259, no, that's not it. 16443, yes, this is the one, yeah, for my API server. So when I come back here, I change my IP address to my machine's IP address, which is going to be found here. Copy. Let me add an extra 1 hour. Yeah, great. Control Shift V. and my port number is 16443. So I'm trying to check my permissions to see what I can do. I hope I get to authenticate. Oh yeah, so we successfully authenticated using this token from the service account. Yeah, so I'm authenticating as a service account because I'm using a service account token. So as you can see, we have the wildcard, which means resources 100%, non-resource URLs 100%, and also the verbs. I can do pretty much everything. So what I'm going to do next is to enumerate. So I repeat then I'll do get pods. Just enumerate for that. I'm going to get the pods and see what I have. No resources found in any. So I'm going to do get pods, all the pods, including, yeah. So I can see I have pods in the cube system namespace, and I also have in the Frankland namespace. And looking at this one, this looks very, very familiar. We have one that is running, and we have one that is terminating. It has 4 restarts already, and this is 230 days ago. I'm going to see the contents of these pods manifest to see what I can do with it. Okay, so I want to get the pod. Let's copy this one that is terminating. What's happening? I'm going to copy the selection in here. Control Shift V. So I'm going to tell you that I want you to get this pods called PHP deploy, because that's the pod name, and is in the namespace called Frankland. I want the output in YAML. So dash O. Yep. So we can see that we can see the manifest of our pod. Usually just like go through it and see what it does. It's actually not a privileged pod, but what we can do with this is we can copy the image detail and use it in our own privileged pod. So this is the image that we are going to copy. Copy selection. And I'm going to want to use that to create my own pod. So I already have a privileged pod template that I use when I do this. All I just need to do is to switch the image so that it can blend in and it won't be detected. So sorry, I do that's my frank.yaml. So nano frank.yaml YAML file, and I just replaced this, and I think it's still the same. So this is actually a privileged pod. As you can see, it sends this command, argument, and it also mounts it into the host file. So it mounts the root of the host file into the host path here for me. So like I said, basically, we're just trying to mount the root directory of the current pod into our own pod. So we have, let's see. Okay. That was not supposed to happen. I think I have it 2 times now. Okay, let's just delete. Okay, yeah. So Control O, enter, Control X, receive. Now I'm going to apply this manifest so that I can create a pod. So I tell it that In the default namespace, and default, I want to apply a manifest. I want to apply a file called frank.yml so that I can get to create my pods. Let's see if it is done. So in order just to be sure that it is done, I'm going to get pods again. Get pods. I should have my pod listed. We have it listed and it is running. So this basically just gives us what is running in default namespace. But if I want to see all the other pods alongside my pod, I'm going to get all the pods. Yeah, I can see mine here, Frank, in the default namespace. Now that I have my pod that has specific instructions, I'm going to try to execute and see if I can run commands using this pod. Don't forget that it is a privileged pod. So, yep, I'm going to look for my execute command. Yep, I have my commands here. So I just need this part. Now, Control Shift V. Unknown flag, bash, bash, dash. Okay. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's booming. And I wait for my results. So what I've done is I've enumerated using the token I got from the service account. Authenticate, enumerate. I created a privilege pod and I also execute into the pod so that I can have a privileged access. Now that I have a privileged access, it's going to be easy to enumerate further as a privileged user. So I'm going to do ls and see what I have. Okay, ls la okay, cd home ls okay. I'm supposed to have more than this. Nah. Okay, we have dev on. Okay. Mm, that's weird. Host. Okay, so the host. Okay, we have something here. Okay, heavy. Okay, we have user.txt. Okay, good. I go back to it. Okay. Wait, so oh, I'm so sorry. What I did first was to find my way to the home directory where I got my user.txt flag, and I also found my way to the root directory where I was also able to get the root.txt file. So basically, what we did was we found a vulnerable PHP that was being used by the web page, by the web, yeah, by the website. They were able to perform remote code execution. Now, after we had done that, we got to take our token for a service account for a Kubernetes cluster. We authenticated using the token as a service account and also escalated our privilege by creating a bad pod that can do basically a lot of things. So with that, we've been able to get our user.txt flag and our root.txt flag. I'm going to have to copy that, copy selection and paste here, paste and check. And I come back, come here, I copy the selection and paste. The first one says I should fire Frank, and the second one says that Frank can never steal stock. So basically, what's the major issue here is having a vulnerable PHP running and also RBAC misconfiguration opening. So thank you very much for joining me today. Till next time. Bye.